One thing that Paul does specifically mention in the passages that some people believe must have been an area of insecurity or worry for Timothy was his age or his lack of experience. He tells him not to let anyone look down on him because he's young. So fun fact, Timothy apparently was most likely in his late 20s, early 30s. Paul was apparently somewhere between 50 to 70. We're not really sure. The word young obviously can be relative. You can throw that out liberally, but what's clear here is that both Timothy and Paul had an idea that people probably were going to have a hard time listening to Timothy because of his age and inexperience. So how does he tell him to overcome that problem? By not giving the people a reason to have any way to blame his behavior on his youth. By not letting a case build up against him for people to use. By living a life so devoted to God that him being young becomes irrelevant. He's just living for God and submitting to him and pointing to him in every aspect of his life through these things: speech, conduct, love, faith, and purity. Matthew Henry writes in his commentary about this, he says, "Men's youth will not be despised if they keep from vanities and foolishness." So we have to take ownership, right, as believers, to say that a lot of times the reason that people doubt us sometimes is not because what we claim to believe, but how sometimes the way we live doesn't match up with what we claim to believe. Timothy might be the one in context here, but again, this is for everybody. How well do our lives in these areas testify that God lives in us?